All right, so I love marine fragrances, marine accords in my colognes. I love them. There's almost never one that I smell where I'm like, oh, I don't want to have that. So I got 4 here at varying price range that we're going to kind of talk about in profile and kind of give you an idea what's going on with them. And this is not a list of top to bottom. I'm going to go from cheapest to most expensive. But first up, we're going to do an honorable mention from Armaf. This is Odyssey Aqua. Although there is no marine accord in this, it's just something about the combination of the citrus and the artemisia with the mint and the ambroxan and patchouli and cypress kind of all together gives it a slight saltiness to it that makes me think it's less just pure aquatic, and there's a little bit more depth to it than that. But one of my favorite fragrances out there, very inexpensive, under 25 bucks from discounters online typically. But yeah, that's Armaf Odyssey Aqua. Great fragrance, but not quite a marine fragrance by definition. So let's go ahead and do these in order from least expensive to most expensive. First up, if you saw it, you already know it's cheap as dirt. It's Club Penguin, sub 20 bucks. Find it at discounters, Ross, sometimes at Burlington Coat Factory. This one cost me 17 bucks with tax. So this is their premium blend. This is going to open up with a whole bunch of herbals and aromatic herbs, but the marine notes in this are distinct and they're there. Biggest flaw with this one is the fact that the longevity just is not there for it. You get opening notes of lime, peppermint, and bergamot. Then you get middle notes of sea notes, sea salt. That's the stuff I like right there. Get some leafy notes in there, some rosemary. Rosemary is often accompanying several of these because I think rosemary kind of blends in very well with those salty marine accords. But yeah, then you get base notes of driftwood, of course, because of all the marine notes, musk, and vetiver. And it's a great fragrance. It just doesn't have the longevity that you would hope it would have. But does smell nice though. Great for this is a good one for the gym because even though it is salty, I don't really encourage like myself to wear salty stuff when I'm going to like a gym because you end up kind of smelling like salty body odor. But this one has enough other stuff going on with it that it kind of offsets all those other notes. So it's a very good gym scent for that reason. All right, next up we got John Varvatos Artisan Teal. This is going to be in that $30-ish range, depending on where you pick it up. Sometimes it's not available. I've found that it just kind of disappears on occasion, but it's a very nice fragrance. Again, longevity is not amazing. It's an EDT. It opens up with lemon and rosemary. Then you get some water lily and pink pepper. Then the base notes of sea salt, driftwood, and musk. It's made to look like a Japanese style buoy with the wrap around it. Kind of has like a dustiness to it even when it's perfectly clean. Very cool, very interesting bottle type, cool presentation. The fragrance is on point. It's nice. Again, under 40 bucks typically is what you're going to pay for this thing. And it's just a very nice option out there. It's masculine, it's a little fresh, so you can wear it during the spring and summer pretty safely. The sea salt notes in the base as opposed to being like in the middle or the top notes, it's kind of cool. And you get that woody base to it. Overall, very nice fragrance. I wear it on occasion, just not as often as this next one. Because then this is probably my favorite one out of the 4. If I were to pick a top one, this is the one where I'm like, oh, I can just grab this all the time. This is La Selle d'Issey from Issey Miyake. So La Selle d'Issey is a blast of salt water. That's kind of what you get out of it. It's salt, ginger that goes really well together. Then you get middle notes of seaweed, and it legit, if you were to, the only thing I can compare it to is if you go to like a sushi place and you get the seaweed salad, it's kind of got that kind of vibe to it, but a little bit sweeter. Then you get vetiver and cedarwood and oakmoss. So excellent fragrance. And for an eau de toilette, even though it's not a super heavy concentration, it lasts for a very, very long time. I was surprised how well it projects and how good the longevity is on it. Haven't tried the eau de parfum version that just came out, but that is on my list of things to do. And then finally, let's talk about the designer, more expensive one. You can see I've made a dent in this. This is the original Acqua di Gio Profondo. They've upgraded it and redone the bottle, and I think what the explanation I've gotten is that the new Profondo is a little more fresh and citrusy in the opening, but keeps all the saltiness and all those marine accords in place. So this is going to open up with sea notes. Then you get aquazone, bergamot, green mandarin, followed by middle notes of rosemary. That seems to be a commonality with many of these marine accord fragrances. So that rosemary and salt just seems to go really well together. Lavender, cypress, mastic or lentisque. And then you get mineral notes, musk, patchouli, and amber. But overall, this is probably the best blended out of the 4 I'm showing you. This one's good. La Selle d'Issey is no slouch, but this one's a little more expensive, just a little more well blended. This is a little more mass appealing. Obviously, Acqua di Gio tends to be more mass appealing, but it's also going to cost you a good bit more. The Licel de Issey is about $65, depending where you pick it up, for a 100 ml bottle, and then compare that to what you're going to pay at most, even at discounters. This is probably over $100 for you for a full-size bottle, so just keep that in mind. This is close to, in some cases, probably double the price of this one, so you're talking about from top to bottom, we go like 16-ish, 35-ish, 60 to 65, and then we're up to like 100 to 120 depending on the size bottle you get. But yeah, Acqua di Gio Profondo is no slouch. It does a great job. The guy who the perfumer behind it is a genius. They do a great job. It's very well blended, high quality. It's one of those, like, it's an easy everyday fragrance. I wouldn't recommend it if you're going out into really high heat, because if you're going to sweat and you're going to make your own kind of smells with your own body, as everyone does, the salt combination, in fact, with all these, I wouldn't really recommend it, with the exception of the Club Penguin because it's so short term. Every one of these, I don't really recommend salt fragrances on top of natural odors that come from being outside in the heat or working or being at the gym. But if you're going out in the evening or just going out for like a lunch for somebody, or you're just going to know you're going to be in the office for a while, someplace where the temperature's kind of controlled, this is just a work of art. It's great. This is probably, although not my favorite, or sorry, not my most used, it's definitely one of my top 5 fragrances in my whole collection, just because it's so easy to grab and not think about, with the exception of the restrictions I mentioned earlier. But yeah, guys, so that's all 4, plus the little honorable mention from the Armaf company, Odyssey, Aqua. And this whole set, like, if you were to buy every bit of these, it'd be under $200 total. So it's a good deal if you like marine fragrances. These are all great options. Just understand the shortcomings of certain ones that don't tend to last quite as long as the others. These two tend to last a very long time. They're also the more expensive. These two tend to be a little more short-term or short-lived, and they don't quite last as long. So I hope the video was helpful and kind of gave you an idea of like different price ranges and quality ranges for marine style fragrances, because I do love them so much. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as that does really, really help out. Thank you and have a great day.